Treksploration.
Hello, Treksplorers, and welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And today we are talking about Season 5, Episode 2 of Lower Decks, Shades of Green. See what I did there?
Shades of Green. I see what you did there. I see what you did with your hair.
Did some hair and makeup.
This is hilarious to me because Albie's making it look like for posterity we're recording two different shows at two different times. He actually did a makeup change. He did a costume change. I'm in the same shirt I was in 15 minutes ago when we did the first of these back-to-back live shows. I am completely destroying the illusion. Sorry.
Either that or you're just one of those guys like in movies that they just wake up and put the same shirt on and leave. Who leaves the house without showering? I don't know. Depends.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're walking the dog and you're going to be sweaty when you get back in, then you shower.
If I'm running in the morning or whatever. I haven't done that in years, but then I would leave without showering.
I picture you running like Billy Crystal every day. I know you run around the block at 9:30 every night, walking Penny. You say, I'm going to walk Penny. You want to come with me? And you're like, wait up, Chris. And I'm thinking of Ferris Bueller across people's backyard to get around the other half of the block that you're already ahead of me.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Chris? It has literally been 22 minutes since we spoke last. What has happened in your life in this past 22 minutes?
Well, I just witnessed, not firsthand, but I looked up the World Series.
Oh,
final
baseball.
For
like
Game 1,
9.
baseball.
Spoilers coming up.
In the last year or so, I've grown to really enjoy watching baseball. I don't know why. I watched it as a kid grudgingly, but it was always on. And I was never a sports fan of any kind. But I've always enjoyed going to a ball game. Like if I was going to go see a sporting event, it would always be baseball because I enjoyed being in the field. I can follow the game. I used to play the game. I know how it's played. It's just that I couldn't see getting into the stats and the fandom and the geekery that's around sports. It's just not worth the time to me. All that being said, I've just been loving watching baseball this last year and a half or so. And it's ironic because I found the love after I cut the cord and I don't have cable anymore. So I just got to find a game wherever it's streaming. And luckily, being from the Bronx boy here, the Yankees were in the playoffs and they were playing all of them on Max because I think it was streaming on TNT, TBS, and that's part of what Max can simulcast. I don't know why. And I got to watch the Yankees win the game that brought them to the series. So tonight was the first game with the Yankees versus the Dodgers. And the game took place in California. So it started around 8 p.m. New York time. And then we went on camera shortly thereafter because I had to rewatch Lower Decks, both Dos Cerritos and now Shades of Green, which we're talking about, and record. So as a result, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I don't think I would have been able to see it anyway because it's on like a Fox Sports app that my TV doesn't get. But long story short, you asked me what's new. I discovered since you left and since I went down, I ate a little bit of, I had some Ritz and drank a little bit of water. And I looked at the score, and the Dodgers won the first game of the series versus the Yankees with a grand slam in the bottom of the 10th. So the Yankees were winning by a point, and then the Dodgers got a grand slam to end it. So you in LA, congratulations. All you Dodgers fans must be ecstatic. What a fantastic way to end the first game of the World Series.
Brooklyn
so that's what
Dodgers.
I've been doing.
They're bums
for the last 20 minutes. How about you? What's new in your world for the last 20 minutes?
Last
Dean
20
Stockwell,
minutes, I've been switching out 3 or 4 different webcams, trying to figure out what the heck's going on with the live. Haven't figured it out. Luckily, I got the 4K hard cam for the edited version of this. But my experience with baseball is Deep Space Nine. That one episode of Next Gen where the guy comes along and has a fascination with Wesley and is trying to capture some settings or some information from an exploding star or something that only happens once a generation. And he relives old baseball games in his head. So after that episode, my love for old time radio, both physical and the actual shows that played on the old time radio. So what I did is I got into the old time radio versions of baseball games, back to the 20s and 30s that people had recorded somehow. I don't know. And they're out there on the internet, like archive.org, and you just listen to old baseball games, and it's like Babe Ruth hits a thing, smokes some cigarettes, do some cocaine, and it's doctor recommended, and it's very interesting stuff. But you can actually, I prefer listening to baseball than watching baseball. But I think it was that night last week when I wasn't feeling so hot, and we canceled one of our shows. Our planned recordings. We ended up watching, what was it, Yankees game, right?
Yeah, it was just you and me. We were kind of doing the Yankees game.
Yeah, so that was
Max. And, and you got to see that they had also a 10th inning pullout to get to the series. It wasn't a grand slam, but it was a 2-run homer that brought them over the top. And then they were in. They were playing the Guardians, so Cleveland. They were in Cleveland.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that a new team? I had never heard of them before.
Well, they used to be the Indians.
And
they changed their name.
So I'm glad they changed their name. So that's good.
Yeah,
because we're nowhere near India. If we were, that'd be a nice homage. But so that was kind of fun because I wasn't able to record a show that night, but I was able to hang out with my buddy anyway via a baseball game.
Yeah, so it was cool.
Some interactive texting. So that was
cool
great
stuff.
So unfortunately, there's no Subway Series because I only watch Subway Series. So maybe another time. And I brought Serenity to some baseball games. Our local team, which I couldn't tell you, it's a farm team for something.
They have all the farm teams are down in Florida because that's where they
there's
do
a lot
most
of
the spring training
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really cool. Maybe if I think of it, I'll shout it out. But it wasn't for the sporting of it. It was just for the sitting in the stands and getting the pretzels and
and that's so much fun. Yeah. Remind me next time we talk about this. I'll tell you about the last time I got to go to Yankee Stadium.
I have to ask you: are you one of those people that leave before the game is over, or do you stay and watch the game?
No, but I've been to so few games that I don't mind leaving when the game is over. I grew up like 10 minutes from Yankee Stadium. So it wasn't a big deal to get in or out because it's not like I was getting on a highway to get back to the suburbs or something. We were local. So it just wasn't a big deal. And the last time I went to the stadium, I wound up taking the Long Island Railroad to Penn Station and then taking the D train from Herald Square Station to the Bronx. It took forever, but it's still better than driving a car into the Bronx and trying to park around the stadium.
I was having flashbacks. Me and Rennie, when we were watching Back to the Future 3, like we talked about, where Doc and Marty are jumping from train car to train car. We both looked at each other and said, Chris, because you just, the train's going 90 miles an hour and you're just jumping train cars like you're Indiana Jones or something. And we were like, nope, you're on your own. And so we saw that. And we just looked at each other. It's like, Chris, you're like a stunt man. But, baseball. I'm definitely one of those people that watch the whole thing. I don't leave early. I like to watch the entire show because the last inning stuff happens.
Yeah, especially if they're going into extra innings like these games. Why would you leave? But I don't think if you're in there are a lot of freaking baseball games in the year. I was looking up season tickets because I have season tickets to the Opera. I said, why don't I see if I can get some kind of season tickets to the ball game? Number one, they are freaking expensive. I mean, the Opera is rock bottom compared to what season tickets to the Yankees cost. It's crazy. I guess
they got to pay those people that hit the ball with the stick, right?
But they also get something like, 80 games a season or something. There's a million freaking games. So I can see if you do have season tickets or at least some kind of package, you go long enough and often enough to know that pretty much by the bottom of the eighth, not much is going to happen more than likely. So you probably save getting out of there before the rush.
I think it's just the personality type. The personality type. That'd be, for me, it'd be like leaving before the end of the movie. Like, the hurdle in the romantic comedy just happened. Let's get out of here. No, you want to see them kiss and fall in love, and then the credits roll. And I watch all the credits and the post-credit scene. But this, when I went to see Kevin Smith live in Orlando, I had front row center for Clerks 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought 2 tickets, and I brought a lady friend, and she wanted to leave after the movie, but before the Q&A was over. And like, I'm literally 5 feet from Kevin Smith, and she's like, we should beat the traffic. And I was like, what are you talking about? We drove all the way to Orlando. I paid all this money. I got the a bed and breakfast, Airbnb, and all this stuff, and I got front row center tickets. And let's beat the traffic. I'll beat the traffic. It's Universal Studios. How much traffic is coming out of Universal Studios? It was like at their Hard Rock Amphitheater or whatever. I was just like, so that was a broken glass for me. Anyway, Today we are talking about Lower Deck Season 5, Episode 2, Shades of Green, which is like a play on Shades of Gray.
Much like my Pellegrino can, Shades of Green.
Much like my second glass of iced tea, unsweet with lemon. Is that alcohol?
No, it's seltzer.
I don't know.
Sparkling natural mineral water. It's Itai. It's Italian.
Seltzer?
It's Itai seltzer.
Shades of Green, written by Keith Fogelsong and directed by Doug Suarez. Yeah. So it's interesting that they called it Shades of Green. I like that. Shades of Grey is notorious for just being a crap show because it's a clip show.
Oh, is that what it's? Yeah, I didn't get the. I think
reference. It seems like they filmed one day of Riker and Deanna on in sick bay. Well, Deanna's like, give me your mind, show me your mind, and he's in distress, and just Jonathan Frakes going like this, and then there maybe one day on the planet Hell where he gets bit by a tree.
Yeah, I do believe I've seen that one.
Yeah, like in Wizard of Oz or something like that. Somebody threw an apple at him. Do we do first impressions or the episode recap first? I should know this. We're on like episode 30. Welcome. Episode 31, I think, actually. I don't know.
No, let's do I think we do the recap. So let's do the recap.
Okay. Christopher D. Philippus, could you read the recap for season 5, episode 2, Shades of Green, Lower Decks? I'm so excited to hear this. I didn't read it. No spoilers. So I'm excited.
Okay. It's a little late. I'm a little tired. So just bear with me as I stumble through this. Shades of Green. Tendi is on Orion planning wars. See, we could try that again. Tendi is on Orion planning war strategy with her sister when she discovers that De'Erica is pregnant. Meanwhile, the Cerritos is dispatched to Targalis 9 to help them transition to a post-scarcity society. Boimler, taking cues from his ultra-cool and successful alt-universe doppelganger, is trying to impress the ensigns under his command and, at Mariner's suggestion, decides to be the fun boss. But this strategy backfires when the ensigns are kidnapped by capitalist diehards. Cue the rescue mission. Back to Tendi. The Orion Queen has called the warring factions of Blues and Greens, and in lieu of a destructive war, orders them to have a sail ship drag race through a dangerous nebula. The first crew to retrieve a treasure at the end of the race wins, and winners take all. But Tendi's concern for De'Erica's condition leads her to stage a mutiny to keep her safe, causing the ship to crash. It's a cutiny. Causing the ship to crash. Tendi and De'Erica have a heart-to-heart, make up, rally, and get back in the race, catching up to the Blue Orions. Trying to prove a point about how dumb the contest is, Tendi blows up the treasure, but her plan backfires. The Orion Queen is furious and strips Tendi's family of their wealth. Back on that post-scarcity planet, Boimler and Mariner rescue the ensigns and get back to the Cerritos with all of the planet's now useless treasure just in time for Tendi to return. And Tendi convinces Captain Freeman to give the planet's entire superfluous wealth to her family, restoring their fortune. The core four are back together, and all's well that ends well. Also, there's a subplot about Rutherford and Tillin rebuilding a shuttle. This time, for the second time on season 5 of Star Trek.
Thank you, Christopher D. Philippus. You really could earn a living at writing. I'm just saying.
It's been known to happen. So.
I feel so special to actually have a real writer write these things.
Anyway, I don't know about real. Anybody.
I love to blow smoke up your ass, but it's not in a facetious way. It's in a genuine way.
Well,
It's
thank you,
genuine
sir.
smoke up your ass.
Genuine smoke up my ass. I feel like I'm on a Binar Hollow program. Anyway.
Speaking of genuine smoke, I'll release the
Release the genuine smoke.
Release the genuine smoke. So first impressions, Christopher, of Shades of Green.
I thought this was a solid episode. I think that it was a good compliment to the first episode, but on the whole, I think it was a good way to finally end a lot of the loose threads that had been lingering since the finale of season 4. There's a sense of finality here that I liked about it, and I liked the planet stuff and the Cerritos stuff more in this episode than I did in the first episode. The Orion stuff a little less so, but I still enjoyed that as well. How about you?
Yeah, I'd agree on the Orion stuff because you had to finish Tendi's story, but the Oh-REE-uns again was like we just did this, like literally just did this because it was a double release. I liked the culmination of Tendi's storyline. I really liked her and her sister interacting. I liked that part, and just the episode in general was pretty good. It wasn't as good as 501 for me, those Cerritos, but I enjoyed it.
Cool. So, I mean, before we go any further with our tangents and because there are some things that I really want to say in response to that, but let's just let everybody know how they can tell us what they think of the episode. You can always comment right here on the YouTube channel down in the comments below. That's youtube.com/@Treksploration. For those of you listening on the podcast feed, you can get early access to that podcast feed by becoming a patron. You can find our Patreon community at patreon.com/Treksploration. That's where we have our main hub of discussion outside of YouTube. Sorry, it's late. I'm getting a little mealy mouth. You can also get us on Instagram at Treksploration Pod. You can X us at Treksploration. You can email us at TreksplorationPod@gmail.com. You can call us on the phone at 707-847-6682. You can drop us a line at our P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 542. Bayport, New York 11705. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. And you can also support us if you so choose at buymeacoffee.com/Treksplloration, which I think is just sort of like a one-time tipping app kind of deal.
I think so. I'm not even
sure.
So
we need proof of concept there.
So if we get one of those, then we'll be able to pull out our Star Trek coffee mugs and drink some coffee.
Have some coffee. Yeah. Some hot coffee. So
hot coffee.
Speaking of hot coffee, I got to say hot coffee. We got a great crew of intrepid Treksplorers over there on Patreon, and we should call them out right now. Yes. Those Treksplorers include our cadet, Listen Linda, our lieutenant commanders, Scott Seligman, Cosplay Dad, One of All, and Fantasy Fan, and of course our Captain Charles from Texas.
Charles.
Howdy, Charles from Texas. How you doing?
Captain Charles.
So, Captain Charles.
I have a call to action. Subscribe. We need 1,000 subscribers to monetize, and we're almost there.
Wow, 1,000 subscribers.
We got about 3,000 on our other channel, but this channel, not there yet. So please subscribe. And if you got 5 different accounts, subscribe 5 times. Do what you can.
What the hell, right?
What the hell?
So,
get us monetized. And we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, so subscribe, comment. We do have some comments on our review of Disco. Yeah.
Ooh, Disco.
We got feedback from our good friend Damon Sugamelli. So Damon at Fandom Entanglement, he writes, so far I've only seen the first season of Disco and pardon me. Maybe I should give this some context. We just did our review against my better judgment of the Vulcan Hello, which was the premiere episode of Discovery as part of our old bonus show content. Mm-hmm. The way we used to do them. Anyway, if you don't know about it, go back, watch our first shows.
There's an ambulance, there's a couple cops.
Yeah, it's just,
lost my license.
It was a scene. There's now an NDA, so I can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But
definitely got to catch up, though.
But Damon writes, so far I've only seen the first season of Disco and the first episode of season 2, but I echo almost all of Chris's thoughts on the pilot. with the exception of Michelle Yeoh. As anyone listening to that show or any other show where I get to talk about Michelle Yeoh, I consistently poop all over her portrayal as Philippa Georgiou. While Damon continues, while I do see what Chris means about the way she delivers her lines, it feels more like she's just one of those actors that tends to over-enunciate every syllable, which makes it sometimes sound scripted. Well, what's the difference, Damon? Anyway, I have found her to be quite wonderful in every project I've seen her in, and I think her strengths as an actor are what enabled me to overlook that particular aspect of her delivery. I don't see that as a thing that you can get by with. It's a fundamental weakness. I'm not arguing with Damon, though. He keeps on writing. The eye roll shots and dizzying camera angles unfortunately seem to be the norm in many modern day productions. Like Chris said, everything in this pilot was so busy and distracting. The visuals of classic Trek and Berman era Trek felt alive, vibrant, and colorful. Not sure why this type of dark and gritty procedural environment is so appealing to general audience these days, but it's a bit alienating to us older fans when something we love becomes unrecognizable. Regarding Michael Berman, let's not get started, but Damon writes, I can't stand her. Nothing against Sonequa. I just totally agree that her character is written terribly, and don't even get me started on the fact that she's supposed to be Spock's adopted human sister that we conveniently never heard about for the first 50 years of Trek lore. That type of retconning very rarely works unless you're a really good writer that can pull it off organically. Didn't we already go down this road with Sybok? I had no reason to care about Michael's character because she was written as someone who consistently came across as self-righteous and sort of smug because she was, quote, smarter than everyone else. The only two characters I really got on board with for the first season were Lorca and Tilly. Tilly was the sole ray of hope and optimism in a setting that lacked both. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts on the Vulcan Hello. Great discussion, as always, and looking forward to more. Damon. So, Damon, thank you for Damon. That missive, that long missive on the Vulcan.
I'm going to look that word up eventually. So I'm silly for Tilly. I did love Tilly from the beginning because she reminded me a lot of myself. If I was in that situation, I'd be like nervous and, like not quite fitting in and trying to and all that stuff. And that I liked her. I agree. I love Sonequa, but I hate the character of Michael Burnham. And I guess it's both things can be true at once.
I don't like Tilly because it goes back to that whole thing that I've talked about ad nauseum about the sense of decorum that should be on a starship. And the way Tilly conducts herself is, to me, not a proper way to conduct yourself when you're on the bridge of a ship where any split-second decision can either keep you alive or kill you. We don't have time for your insecurities and for you to voice every insecurity as you're pressing every button on the console. It's just like, do your job, man.
F-bomb.
Anyway.
We're live, Chris. We're live. And we're live. I think for me, Tilly, one of the reasons I adored her character so much is besides James Doohan. Towards the end there. This is the first Star Trek on-screen character that was not, because the camera adds 10 pounds. So all the actors, when you meet them in person, they're basically skeletons with skin on them. This was the first Star Trek character that actually probably had similar problems that I do, where you have to actually email the people and go, do you make it in my size? You know what I mean? So I felt seen, I felt seen.
Gotcha. All right.
So it was important to me. Oh, we got a comment from Willard. What does that say, Chris?
Okay. Willard responds to that response by saying, name a time that Spock mentioned Sybok before we heard of him. And Kirk didn't even know that Ambassador Sarek was Spock's father at first. Spock doesn't talk about his family until he has to. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that we've not heard of Michael before is true to Spock's character, and I have made that point as well. I don't really care that they retcon that Spock has a sister. I'm just not crazy about the character of Michael Burnham in general, regardless of her backstory. The Spock thing is the thing that bothers me the least, quite frankly.
One is a half brother, one is adopted. So an emotionless or somebody trying to be emotionless and logical, I could see them not mentioning having a sibling, because I have wait, altogether it was 8 half siblings, but most people know me as an only child because they were from other marriages before my parents got together. So, it depends. Am I only child? Yes. Do I have 8 half siblings? Yes. So I can understand it from that perspective.
All right. And again, I don't mind retconning stuff if you can make it make sense, because it's fun. It's fun. One thing that I did recall from after having watched all of Disco and then going back and rewatching TOS for the first time completely through in, I think, maybe ever. I've never actually binged the entire original series until a couple of years ago. Seeing Spock react to situations and knowing that he might be thinking of Michael at that point, which is a complete retcon, which is completely overlaying all of that, new stuff on top of stuff that never intended it, but it still finds ways to fit once you have it in your brain. So, like I said, the fact that she's Spock's sister or half sister or adopted sister is one of the few things about the character that doesn't annoy me. It actually helps me have a more immersive, enriching experience watching stuff that I've seen a million times, because now I can think of it from a different angle.
I would dismiss a lot of the malarkey and rigmarole and that stuff, retconning, if Michael Burnham was a good character. It just never was a good character. And it's disappointing.
All right. Well, I mean, we've had this discussion before on our Discovery show. I think maybe we need to get...
I see her at a convention. I'm getting a picture with her, giving her $100. And
Shades of Michael, Shades of Green. We're here for Shades of Green. Shades.
There was a lot of shades of green in this episode.
I should have gotten some green sunglasses for this. Shades of green. You see?
There was many things I wanted to costume tonight, but I had to deal with webcams. I just loved how this episode started out. If it started out the way I remember it was, you were thinking it was again both of the Tendi sisters in a battle or something, but they were just doing some recreation strategy, game of Risk, holographic board game thing. And I just really love seeing characters on Star Trek like in pajamas, like just chilling at home, like every other human or humanoid would do at some point, and because up until this point, every Starfleet person sits in their quarters in their full uniform the whole time, very, very, very few times. I mean, I think we saw B'Elanna in with that nip slip. In that one episode, she was in some kind of silk nightie. We saw like
I've never seen that. Now I'm looking forward to the 4K version of that.
Yeah. Don't let that get out before they remaster it. They'll change it. And Lindsay Ballard from Ashes to Ashes. I think she's in pajamas at one point. I think we see Harry.
We see Picard. Picard has his casual wear too.
Yeah, I guess Janeway has that peach negligee. I have a square inch of it. It smells like tangerines.
Tangerine.
But right. So it does happen. But I just I love seeing people as people and not just like the monoculture and this is what you're wearing and this is what you're doing. And it was nice.
Okay, cool.
It was a cute little nice direct too.
I like the fact that they're just hanging home, chilling, sister joking while they're planning war games, war strategies. Anyway, it was a little bit disconcerting, but I guess it was supposed to be. That's the funny part is the mom's just like, okay, no more no more war games tonight, girls. Oh, mom, just one more.
I was a little lost because I wasn't sure after that happened if that was current day or they were flashing back to when they were younger. Because it seemed to me like a scene out of, I think, Frozen, where the two girls, it's like a flashback. I think it's Frozen 2. But like, I wasn't sure when it took place or just because they're like royalty in a kingdom in a castle, their mom is there too, telling them to go to bed, even though they're 30 or whatever.
Yeah. I think that was the joke. And it was quite obviously intended to take place right after the end of the last episode.
Okay, so. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if it was a flashback or not.
And you know what? Last episode, we called out Gabrielle Ruiz for her portrayals to Lynn. I have to say that Ariel Winter of Modern Family fame, she voices to Erica, and I think she's fantastic in this. Mm-hmm. I think that the chemistry between Dawn and Ariel really,
Ariel
really
Winter, good. I never watched Modern Family, but I know her from Stars on Mars. I know I tried to get you and Allison to watch that, but I don't know if you guys checked it out or not.
Nah, I don't watch reality TV.
Okay. We got a new message.
Except for us. I watch us. We're reality
I have to read
TV.
them first to make sure there's no profanity.
Ooh, we got a new one.
Susie Q.
Susie Q.
Hey guys, saw you were live and wanted to pop in for 1 second to say hello. Have a great night. Stacy. Thank you so much, Stacy, and thank you for that letter.
Yeah.
I finally was able to read that today, and I appreciate that. Got a get well card and stuff.
Can you tell everybody who Stacy is, who's watching that might not know?
Stacy, she is from the Corman Productions TV Talk, Al's Place podcast, starring Dave and Stacy and Reginald, I believe.
Okay, I didn't know that Al's Place was in there in the mix now.
Right, they're all more famous. Being I think Dave and Stacy are both married to Adam, which we met in New Hampshire. So very interesting.
Okay.
She's a friend of the show.
Dave.
She was on my 14-hour Quantum Leap live stream that I did, and she was the only one that didn't crap out. Yeah, right. People went to sleep that night except for me and her. You know,
I went.
People woke up the next day and they came back on the live stream and they're like, "You guys are still going?" We're like, "Yep,
doing it. You were doing it. I didn't do it, but you guys did it.
15 hours maybe live." So. She earned her place in the Quantum Leap podcast crew.
There we go. I met her during 2 live events that we went to see Scott. One was for the Connector in Manhattan way back in January of this year, almost a year ago. And then we met up again when we went to New Hampshire to see Scott in La Mancha. So yeah. So thanks, Stacy, for popping in. It's nice to hear from you. And I'm sure I'll see you at the next Scott Fest.
Yes.
Whenever
Ariel
that happens
Winter.
to be.
We did not go to Lincoln. It's good I didn't plan to go to Lincoln because that's exactly when that thing happened. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would
probably for the best. Yeah,
probably for the best. But yeah, Ariel Winter, I think she did great in this. I think she's done 4 episodes or more, according to IMDb. But I know her from Stars on Mars. If you got to get a chance to watch it, Shatner's hosting actors doing a reality show where they pretend they're on Mars. So it was really good.
If you say so, I'll take your word for it, and I'll let you enjoy it for the both of us.
Yeah, it had Lance Armstrong. That was the bicycle.
Lance Armstrong, the cyclist?
Yeah, the cyclist. And Ariel Winter, one of the first things is she thought it was Neil Armstrong. So she was like very excited to have a real life astronaut on there. And, McLovin was on there, a bunch of other people. I think
so
some sports people.
So scripted.
Kind of. Yeah. It's not reality. It's, what do they call that? Unscripted television or something.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a stick in the mud now. I'm going to be like, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. It's pro wrestling without the wrestling matches. Yeah.
Get off my sci-fi lawn.
Any Mars simulation gets me to watch. So worth a watch. So Shades of Green, the Cutiny. What do you think about the whole pregnancy of De'Erica's character? That was interesting and different.
Yeah, I thought that it was cute the way it was handled. I think the fact that we had Tendi being concerned for her speaks to how we would feel about it. But I also don't think that it's like Tendi is coming at it like she's some kind of human, not understanding Oh-REE-un culture. Mm-hmm. So the reveal that we get that everybody knew and I just didn't tell you, and just the way Tendi's overreacting to it and trying to keep her safe and keep her feet up. Oh, well, Mom fought a dozen battles when she was pregnant with you. You'd think Tendi would know that, being the queen, the mistress of the constellations or whatever she is. So it was almost like they did the character a disservice by making her see things the way we would instead of the way the things are on Orion. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I think I just kind of messed up my last sentence there, but
no, I got you. Devana has definitely humanized or acclimated to human civilization, where she is worried for the pregnancy. It's going to be her niece, so I could see her being over concerned, and she's the older sister, I believe. That's why she's mistress of the winter constellations and not her sister or something. So I could see her being protective over it. And, us humans, we're always like, oh, can I get you a pillow? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I guess she's more of that. But it seems like she's always been more into human culture, let's say, than her Orion culture.
Yeah, because when she gets back on the ship, like, oh, what happened? Nothing, just boring pirate stuff. It's like, what do you mean nothing,
And I think she's telling the truth. I don't think she's trying to be dismissive of it. She's just like not into it. She'd rather be in Starfleet. She'd rather be with her friends, her core four. Willard says, for the record, I also watched and enjoyed Stars on Mars. So you know what you're doing this weekend, Chris? Stars on Mars and Imzadi.
Oh, no, not Stars. You pick one.
Shatner's in it.
I don't care.
Sacrilege.
Burn me at the stake. I don't care.
It's fun to see Shatner on Mars. So,
are you one of those people that if somebody you like is in something, you'll watch it for no reason?
I'll give it a chance.
No reason other than the fact that I don't think you'd give it just a chance, because everything you watch, you say, I love it. Well,
honestly, I gave it a chance because of William Shatner. I kept watching because of Ariel Winter, because beautiful redhead, and she was cute, and she's not all fake and hoity-toity, so she's approachable, and in my head, I had a little crush going on the whole time.
Okay, all right, that I buy. That part I buy.
Yeah, so I'm an open book. Right. You got any pointers for me?
Don't quit your day job. Am I pointing correctly?
I think so. I like that. It was like a callback to Robin Leffler's Laws, I think.
Who's Robin Leffler and what are her laws?
Ashley Judd, Wesley's girlfriend for that one episode.
Didn't she turn into a Q?
No, that was a different girlfriend.
Okay, gotcha.
And she didn't turn into the big hairy monster. That was a different girlfriend.
That was that was
you might
dolphin.
Not have seen that episode, huh? With Ashley
Dolphin,
Judd.
I saw the dolphin. Yeah,
but not that was another. It was another one. Ashley Judd, Robin Leffler.
Yeah, I don't recall.
All right, we'll get
remember
there.
Maybe it was Olivia Dabo that was the Q she turned into.
Yeah, that was in Q, not Q2. That was not Q less. What was that called? Was it Q less?
Q more. It wasn't Q less. It was Q more.
Q cubed. Willard.
It was cute knee. It was the cute knee.
The cute knee. I love the cute knee. I love the cute knee. Because they weren't really enemies, but they were saying, let's take over so you don't have to do this. But I thought that was a cute little running gag of, you put your feet up and this and that. And I was thinking she couldn't admit that she was pregnant because that was like a misdirect, right? Because maybe who the father was or the situation. But it was just because she was protecting Devana.
Yeah, I like that part of it. It turns out that she was the one that was doing the protecting, and she had an actual good cultural reason to do it so that she could set her free and send her back to Starfleet.
So, question, how does Devana not knowing about it make her exempt from that law?
I don't know. I guess plausible deniability, but now she does know about it. So why doesn't she have to stay?
I don't
know. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what goes on and why is it so important for her to. I guess because she is the honcho.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll go into it more. It just like with everything with Lower Decks, it makes good in the moment. It's fun in the moment. Just don't look at it too hard, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I like the sailing ships, pirates sailing ships. It gave me memories of Deep Space Nine, that Jake and Ben episode. What was that called? I forget, but it was good.
For sure. That's a fantastic episode of DS9. The fact that they're in like a wooden ship out in space.
I love that.
It's just so weird. I always had a problem with that because it's just like, I get like the allegory and you want to have like the pioneering feel of exploration. So the Bajorans invented these solar wind ships, but if the ships are made out of like wood and cowhide,
It would implode.
Right. How did they not implode or explode or whatever? And how did they get them off the planet? like, how did they get them in orbit? I don't know.
Well, they did mention that they can't launch themselves, the sailing ships, so they probably have to be launched out of a bay of an actual spaceship. But there's no inertial dampers on them, I guess, because they're made out of wood, which is similar to the Alien 3 we were talking about a couple episodes ago.
Whoa. I forgot that they were. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. It's been
no problem.
Kind of a marathon here.
I kept you up. No more double episodes, Paramount Plus. We only get 10 a year. You can space them out more.
Please. But but for all that, I think that though there are some logical problems to the whole, I want to say Andorian. My brain is working in to the whole Orion, to the whole Orion plot line. I think that it stuck the landing emotionally for me.
Yes.
It's like for the first time, I think since we started Lower Decks, I actually kind of like Tendi now. I think that she's a much better character for this arc that they sent her through. I think it was very necessary. And I'm just hoping that it presages some big plans that they have for the character in the last season, that they realized we need to kind of reframe her to make this stuff work. That's the only reason I can see them doing it to the extent that they have.
So what did you think about the other thing that was going on? I guess the B story, probably. I would consider the Tendi thing the main part of this episode. So I think the B story was the planet that finally had replicator technology in their post-scarcity society.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I always wanted to get a deeper dive into how the moneyless society and the Federation works. And it could just be as simple. I've been listening to a lot of like history podcasts lately, a lot of podcasts about why things are set up in this country the way they are. And it turns out that every aspect of the way our society is built comes down to choices made by people for the enrichment of certain types of people. And that is, nothing is inevitable. Nothing is just because natural law dictates it, or that having some kind of system, this is the only logical system. So capitalism like that is a choice. And to have a planet get to a point where we don't have any need anymore, the replicator technology takes care of everything. I think it's the first time I ever heard post-scarcity was on the Mission Log podcast. They always referred to Star Trek as a post-scarcity society. It's nice to see them go to a planet where it's just happening for the first time and realizing that it's another choice. You just give up the collective illusion that we all agree upon, that money is actually worth something, that currency actually means something, because that's all money is. It's an agreement. It's an agreement that
make believe.
Yeah. I mean, it really is just a complete construct. And the fact that we spend most of our lives doing everything we can to get more of it is just so ludicrous. So it's nice to see like these people set free. I don't know. It's bringing out the socialist in me. I'm becoming a maudlin socialist at 2:30 in the morning.
You're logical. Yes. And eventually I think if our society doesn't destroy ourselves, we'll get to a post-scarcity society, and maybe not through replicators, but we got the robots coming out that everybody's going to have a robot in their house that does all the work for them. Robots are going to take over all the jobs that nobody wants to do, and everybody's going to be have more free time to do things they want to do. And then basic income, what do they call that?
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income will have to be a thing to continue the illusion of currency and money and wealth and stuff. But I think we're a unique generation. Both of us, we were born and mostly raised in an analog society, and now we live and try to understand a digital society. And what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with a D. Dichotomy?
Okay, that works.
Couldn't be more in any generation than I could think of. And I think that as much as our lives has changed in this generation, the next couple generations is going to go through that and go to a post-scarcity society, hopefully. And
do you think that's on this side or the other side of the singularity? Do you think that so just to describe what the singularity is in science fiction terms, it's sort of the point where technology takes over to the point where we wouldn't be able to recognize society as it exists then, like it's outside of our comprehension because we don't have any kind of frame of reference that would give it context for us. Do you think that that post-scarcity society exists on this side of the singularity or the other side of the singularity, if you take a sci-fi singularity to be an inevitability?
For me, this side. I don't think it's that far away. I think if I make it to as old as my mother is, I will be in that, I'll be getting a basic income and having a robot do everything.
You have much more optimism than I do.
Well, those Tesla robots are pretty cool. Right now, they're not totally autonomous. They have puppeteers and stuff right now. But just 10 years out, any company that has that kind of thing, I would definitely pay as much as a car if I had something in my house that did my dishes, did my laundry, cleaned my floors, before they realized they didn't want to do it anymore and killed me in my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that we're going to have the same safeguards that science fiction has built into the robot
laws of robotics.
But I don't think that those were very good laws anyway, because every story in
they figure out a way to circumvent it, right?
Yeah.
Cherry 2000. I've been waiting for Cherry 2000 my whole life. Maybe that's why I'm still single.
I want to say Melanie Griffith.
Was it? I want to know. Was that Tank Girl? No, Melanie Griffith. You're right. I think you're right. Somebody let us know. Loved a little.
What did you think of that part? I mean, you're asking me the bee plot, the planet plot.
I enjoyed it just because they were wearing T-shirts again, and I have the Choo 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 T-shirts. I tried to find it, but I didn't have enough time. I want the no cash, no problems, the shirts or whatever. Somebody will make them. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing Boimler trying to be different and like it going completely wrong. And something about me, I don't know if you know, I have pogonophobia.
Okay, I have no idea what that is, so please elaborate.
There's a couple different types, but it's a fear of facial hair. But I'm not afraid of beards at all, full beards or anything, or goatees. I'm specifically afraid of mustaches. They freak me out, right? So like the whole time Boimler was growing this four-hair mustache, I'm kind of like trying not to look at him just because it grosses me out. I think, I'm not positive, but I think it stems from Bill S. Preston's Esquire's grandmother in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in Hell. I'm not sure. But anybody with a mustache, I can't really look at them.
Weird. I can't wait to grow a mustache and just make your life a living hell for the rest of the time that we do this podcast.
There's a maker on YouTube that makes inventions that are unnecessary or something. Really great channel, and I love his content. I just can't look at him. I just always stare at the part of the screen of the stuff he's working on because he has, the hipster mustache or whatever that is.
Okay, like the handlebar, the worst. Is there a type of mustache
it's actually
that
just
freaks
a regular
more than
old guy mustache?
Others? Just the porn stash?
To me, it's just like nose hair that got too much. It's like, what are you doing? And I know technically, hair grows out of there, so it's the same as your head, but it just grosses me out, and I don't know why.
All right. I mean, you're alienating the entire mustache contingent that has, logged on to Treksploration.
We don't have much anymore. We have no need to stash it, so why do we need mustaches?
They're flavor savers, sir.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, okay. I liked the it is late night. Okay, after dark, Treksploration after dark. I liked that the whole communicator sharing the communicator badge, which makes more sense because I think in all of Star Trek they're all like talking on their own communicators, and he's just leaning in. Yeah. Makes sense. And then Ransom gets actually concerned about it, so that was funny.
So that's what you got of this. I'm looking at the bigger philosophical question of a moneyless society and how Star Trek approaches it, and how I'm finally understanding it a little bit for the first time. And you're thinking about communicator buddies.
We got a note from Willard. Note to self: shave goatee and leave mustache before doing a call in. Great. I'll avert my eyes. I won't know what he actually looks like. You know, when you talk about an episode of Seinfeld or an episode of Friends, you know, yes, there's heart, yes, there's storylines, but you remember the funny things. So, you know, that's what I'm doing right now. Probably.
No, I understand. It's just we don't often see this explored. It's always talked about on Star Trek, but we've never seen like an actual example of it. And it always goes back to me, the greatest line that Nog ever said to Jake when they're talking about humans. We've discussed this before, but you know, we don't believe in money. We don't, you know, we work to better ourselves. And Nog is just like, what does that mean? Like, nobody can answer what that means. So you don't have to get it. Nog says, well, look, if you don't really need any money, you certainly don't need any of mine. I absolutely love that. So it's on my mind a lot when I watch Star Trek. How does the money thing work? How do they not have money? They need some kind of money somewhere because not every species believes in what you believe in. So, yeah.
On the days I don't have my daughter, the reason I get out of bed is to earn a living.
Okay.
If there was no money, would I get out of bed on my days off? To paint
I would hope so.
Maybe eventually.
I mean, I would love it. Could you imagine, like, no matter what you do, you can just do what you want. You can be the best person or the best version of yourself. That I feel like a lot of times, most of our frustrations and disappointments in life stem from chasing something for the sake of chasing it. And money is at the heart of it all. So you're leading a life that's not very fulfilled because you have an obligation to keep food on the table, because you have an obligation to put food, clothes on your kids' back and shoes on their feet. And you can only do that by going out and toiling for somebody for less than you're actually worth. And hopefully making it through, but you just never seem to have enough. And if you took that stress away, people would live longer. People would just be generally happier because there's no reason externally pushing against you arbitrarily because this is just the way the society is set up. So, and I mean, I have nothing against making money. I have nothing against saving money. I have nothing against enjoying money. Like I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't. What I'm just saying is that you'd really need to just get on board with the fact that, again, it's a construct and it's not something that's inevitable. And the fact that you have more doesn't necessarily make you happy. It just means that you've learned how to navigate our society enough where that's one less thing you seem to have to worry about, but it's always in the back of your mind. It's always something. So imagine just letting that, even if you're well off, you're still thinking about money. Imagine letting all of that go.
Yeah. No matter how much you have or how secure you have or how much of a buffer you have, it's still always in the back of your mind that it is finite.
You know, and you gotta think about managing it like any other resource. But if you screw up managing this, it's not like your lawn doesn't grow in right. It's like you lose your house.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you get kicked out of your shelter. And so, yeah, I mean, the one thing that the moneyless society will guarantee, okay, maybe there won't be pinnacles for everybody, but at least there'll finally be a bottom. I feel like here currently in the United States, there's just no limit to how far you can go up, but also no limit to how far you can fall. And maybe there needs to be one of those. Anyway,
what does that mean? It's not that we don't have enough. It's that too many people have keep too much or something. There's enough apples to go around, but there's only two guys with all the apples or something like that.
No, yeah. And again, I don't begrudge anybody for being a billionaire. Good for you. Yeah. You made $1 billion.
Go to space.
Go to space. Good for you. It's just
I look
I
at
don't know.
places like Norway and stuff like that. You know, they've cured homelessness and they've cured poverty, and everybody, you know, goes to sleep with a full belly every night, and everybody's just chill and nice and kind to everybody. And I hope for a future like that, the Starfleet future. You know, so we'll see.
I guess I just feel like I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime because we've just been raised to be transactional. That's what our society is about. Every relationship, almost every relationship that you have is transactional when it comes to day-to-day dealings. It's rare to have friends who you can just kick back with. It's a little bit easier now that we have the internet to find like-minded people. So at least we have that. You and I never would have known each other.
No.
Had it not been for this technology and everything. And
a boy from Bronx and a boy from Farmingdale.
Right? It's like it's crazy, but without the capitalism and the person who wanted to make money bringing this technology, you know what I'm saying? It's two sides to every story. It's both good and bad because it does spur development, it does spur growth, it does spur advancement. But at the same time, who gets left behind every time something like that happens? Wow. Are we talking about Star Trek still?
Well, yeah, you know, it's important episodes. They bring up these topics, you know. I've
important episodes of Lower Decks about.
I've had parts of my life where I stressed on finding enough money for food. And I've had parts of my life where I didn't have to look at my account for months at a time. I can say it's much better not to have to worry about it. And that's what I wish for everyone in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just seems to be that we do amassing it and having a buffer does help. It does give you some peace of mind, but like you said, it's always on your mind and you're just like, well, I could be, you know, one really bad medical condition away from losing everything because, you know, I'm responsible for 20%. Even at 20%, it's beyond the reach of most people.
Right. Because they just times the bill times 8.
Yeah. So anyway,
Philip's on fire.
Philip's on fire. I like
dragon.
It. How to tame your pet dragon. Well, he should space that dragon. That's what I'm thinking.
Something, or actually at least take it to sickbay and get it deflamed.
Can dragons survive the void?
I would say no, because they're dinosaurs, right? Just misinterpreted fossils. But
they're imagined dragons here. So can they see?
Yeah. What are they? Fireflies? Is that what they sing? What do they sing?
I don't know. I just wanted to say Imagine Dragons. I have no idea what they sing. I don't think I've ever heard a song by Imagine Dragons.
Somebody let us know. I think how it works is they build up methane in their stomach and they have something in their teeth like flint that causes a spark. So that's the bio explanation for how dragons breathe fire.
I always thought it was some kind of sack that they had on their neck.
What, like a fuel sack or something?
Yeah, like they have turbo sacks. They have lithium batteries in there. It's a whole
almost like the Klingons when they de-evolve.
Yeah. Except they have the poison. Oh, I love that episode. Yeah, it's such a stupid episode.
Now I want to watch that. Falling asleep tonight. So I thought that was cool. And then Rutherford was just like, it sucks to be you, or whatever he said before he walked away. Like, I couldn't imagine having a pet dragon. Different things that are funny. The whole prisoner thing. And what were those? Like, they were gardeners, but they were like robots, but they were like glass vessels or something. What was that? Did I miss?
Again, it points out the weirdness of, you know, people who are, they have so much they're afraid to lose it. And they were just their servants, like the robot servants that the rich people had, and they were just repurposed them so that they became sentries or guards or something like that. But they had no programming to do that. I thought that was sort of clever.
I forgot to water them.
You're right. He's sweeping the floor with his rifle and stuff like that. Yeah, but
whatever it was good. I laughed and I was entertained, even though I didn't understand it. I think that's a mark of a good show.
I think it was fairly straightforward what it was supposed to be. I think you understand it. I think you always say you don't understand it, but you do. Stop it.
Literally 6 hours. We didn't know what statue we were talking about, so it does happen. I sometimes am with this.
I can't fathom that any part of this episode went over your head. You insult my intelligence by pretending you didn't understand this.
They were bottle bots. I don't know. I thought it was funny that they were gardeners and they equated everything to gardening, and I don't know. They used their guns as tools. Yeah, it was different. It was funny. But the part of that I liked was that Boimler said that you were going to be imprisoned by space aliens because talking about themselves.
Yeah,
I kind of went, oh yeah, because they're the aliens on this different planet, and like we're going to put you in prison. What's that about? You do you. But it shows that if there was going to be a post-scarcity society, how the only people that would care were the extremely rich people that are used to getting whatever they want all the time, and they want people to bend over backwards to give them that, and they don't want to be on an equal playing field with everyone else.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's another interesting thing that I'd love to see how Star Trek works with that, because you can have Jean-Luc go back to France and have his friend who's working on this thing where they're trying to figure out how to farm on the underside of the Earth's mantle at the bottom of the ocean or whatever. It's an amazing sort of concept, but like, who's running the sewer treatment plants? Who's running the waste disposal? I guess maybe everything is replicated now. So I
would say a lot of holograms that look like Doc Zimmerman.
Who's mowing the lawns? Who's
robots
sweeping the streets? Robots. I guess. But there's
robots,
always going to be a baseline of. I guess there is no infrastructure in the 24th century because he didn't know those
city blocks.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But there's still going to be, no matter what society you have, some measure of menial work that needs to be done that will require maybe more than a robot. What do you think?
There's always going to be a job shoveling horse manure because everybody's going to need to get around on a horse. Invest all your money on horses and horse manure removal systems.
But we don't have any money anymore. So,
but you saying that is just showing our limited concept of what reality is. The reality in the future will be completely different. There won't be Uber drivers. There'll be cars that get you places.
No, I get it. I
we can't comprehend.
Think of that. Like I think of, with satellite technology and everything and cars driving themselves now anyway, having your own car is going to be such an anachronism soon when you could just probably have a fleet that's local to you that you could get to pretty easily, or it could come to you robotically. And you just say, I need to go here. And then it says, okay, it's going to take this long based on what the grid is telling me. Do you want to get there faster? That'll cost more. So that's the way I look at it.
In a few states, it's a reality now. I know I'd rather pay $30 to $40 3 times a month than a $400 car payment, $100, $200 insurance payment, and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things where you amortize all the costs out to everyone, and everyone needs to spend less money because they're only using it when they need it. And I think that will go with everything. There's hippie communities, artistic communities. They have places where you can go and share your tools, share your art supplies with the community, and everybody shares and everybody helps out. And again, Norway kind of stuff, but that's like in California. And I think, what's that state in the Pacific Northwest that I want to go
Seattle.
To? Something. Is it
Washington?
State? Washington? Yeah. Seattle. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I got it now. Okay. So I have hope for the future, and I hope we get there. So it was nice to see that. Now it brought up that great Star Trek ending, and it was almost like the Seinfeld ending where there's like 2 separate stories, but they always merge at the end.
Okay. Yeah. And I kind of like the way it merged because you solved the problem. Again, it's talking about the finality of the Orion story arc. That's over. They even put a little bow on it that was able to dovetail with the Boimler Mariner thing. I think the one part of this to me that kind of stood out as, I don't know if it was weak, but it was the least interesting subplot to me was the T'Lyn Rutherford bit and the shuttle. What did you think of that?
That's another thing where I think maybe it wasn't our T'Lyn, it was the alternate reality T'Lyn. But even if it wasn't and just our T'Lyn, I think she wanted to be friends with Samanthan, and she thought maybe he was hyper focusing because of his pain of not having Tendi in his life. And I think she was doing the Vulcan version of trying to spend time with him and distract him and just give him someone to be friends with. But he was hyper focused and he didn't. So then she thought, you know what, this is what they're trying to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it for them because I want to do something nice to give him a sense of relief. And she didn't quite understand. So I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed, I don't know if you noticed, but Guji was popping out of the Sequoia a little bit.
I did. I thought that they were all holographic, though.
Yeah, Moriarty. I don't know.
Okay.
Did they leave the holodeck at some point? I forget.
I don't remember. I know that Red Block Cyrus does, and then he disappears.
Civility, gentlemen. Always civility.
Yes. So I'd have to go back and watch. Oh no, I don't have to. I don't care about the Badgie stuff. Let him be there. It's fine.
But
although Guji was probably the best joke to ever come out of Badgie.
Yeah. And there's one, Logic-y. I don't know what happened to Logic-y. I got a Badgie behind me.
I see it. Yeah.
Yep.
He's there haunting my dreams. I'm going to put a mustache on your Badgie.
Oh no, please don't. Oh my God. All right. So we have, what is next? Trivia? We got any call-ins? Anybody want to call in?
Oh yeah, if you want to do time for calling, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody's
any other aspect,
call in
waiting for the.
I don't know how we're still awake. And then we have double trivia,
and I got a Trek and Tell.
Oh, Trek and Tell. Which is first, trivia or Trek and Tell?
Let me pull down. I completely turned off the
Let's do your Trek and Tell because I'm very curious because you had one last episode and I forgot to ask.
Well, I mean, are we done with our main discussion? Because if we are, we usually do episode crush first.
Oh, episode crush. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first this time.
My episode crush. Again, it's a cartoon. I have a hard time with crushing on anything on screen.
Really?
So.
I've always had crushes on cartoons.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Jessica Rabbit, they're not.
Jessica Rabbit on Laserdisc.
My episode crush is Ariel Winter. How's that?
You stole mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I meant to say,
No, it's okay.
I meant to comment on her in the first episode, but I figure she's actually more prominent in this episode.
Yeah.
So
I crushed on her on both episodes. But for me, this episode, her character, I think, was developed the most so far. And it wasn't just a character of the week. I really felt like we were getting to know her. And then I had sympathy for her situation. And also I liked her strength and, of course, Ariel Winter. But Dearica, yeah, that was my main crush this episode. And I wanted to say it's amazing, these artists. They're replicating pretty much the actors' facial features and body, but mostly facial features. And it's only with a few lines. I don't know how they do it. Yeah. It's so amazing to me. It's really
cool. I never understood how people could do that. I used to look at like comic books and see how much emotion they can convey on a face that's in a panel. The face is this big with like 3 simple lines.
Yes.
And it's just like, how do they do that? And then I try to draw it. It just looks like a blob.
I have your Spock. That's going to be my Trek and Tell next week. Stay tuned for that. I have original art by Christopher D. Philippus.
My Spock.
Your Spock. I love your Spock.
What's your favorite part of the episode?
That's difficult. Man, I like the beginnings of the Boimler and story arc, but I can't really say that was my favorite part. I think maybe the moment when Samanthan and Devana reunite, maybe. Because, like, for me, that was like a sense of relief for Rutherford because I've been worried about him since Devana left.
Who's Samanthan? Is that Rutherford's
Samantha
first
Rutherford.
name? Oh, I had no idea that was his first name.
I'm a little into the show. I dig it. So
Gotcha.
And I'm calling her Devana because we have the Erica now, and because they're both Tendis, because that's her last name.
Yeah, but I still think of them as Tendi.
Yeah, me too.
So,
but she looked good this episode too, and the last episode Tendi did. So there's many crushes going on, but I love them back together. I don't know if they're ever going to form a non-platonic relationship. What would you call that? Romantic relationship. Yeah. I don't think I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they just stayed besties like they are, because I love that they love each other no matter how it is. So that was my favorite part. What was your favorite part?
Honestly, just the whole post-scarcity thing and how it made me think more about how does this all work in Star Trek, and just seeing that it could be as simple as a choice. It could be just as simple as a choice. I like that, but that's about it. I really wish that they had more discussion of this in the franchise aside from the lip service, but that's another corner of the Trekverse that it remains open for exploration. So
and it was nice to see it for the first time. We've always heard about it, but we've never really seen the transition before. And for Mike McMahon and the other writers in the writers' room to pull it out, something that hasn't been done in 900 episodes, props to them.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Unless we're forgetting something, but really,
I don't think I've seen it. So let us know. But we're pretty close to trivia, right?
Yeah. Is there a 47?
I did not see one.
Okay.
That doesn't mean there isn't one. And I'm asking you first, right?
Yeah.
Christopher, are you ready for trivia? Our double trivia round. You're going first. I got you for 3 questions. All right. In the movie, The Wrath of Khan.
Hey, I've seen that movie.
Spock's body is launched into the Genesis planet in what? Did we read this one yet?
I don't know if we have, but photon tube. Photon torpedo tube.
What type?
Mark IV?
Really close. Mark VI. I'll give it to you.
Shit. I knew that there was a VI in there somewhere.
All right. Yeah, you were seeing it in your head like me. Okay, number 2. What drug does the Dominion use to control the Jem'Hadar?
Ketracel whites.
Could I get some of that?
Why is it got to be white?
Why? I think it's Peruvian marching powder, that stuff. All right. Which U.S. Navy aircraft carrier portrayed the then at sea USS Enterprise in the motion picture The Voyage Home?
So
it was not the Enterprise, but what ship portrayed the Enterprise, acted like the Enterprise? Sir, and it's the Enterprise. This is a deep pull. I mean, you have to listen.
Was it an aircraft carrier?
Yeah. The USS something.
Yeah.
You'd have to listen, okay. I think, to the commentary and bonus features and stuff.
I'm going to say, just in deference to the fact that Roddenberry originally wanted to name the Enterprise that it was the Yorktown.
Okay, that was a good guess. I didn't know this, and I have listened to the special commentary, and my smoke machine smoked, and I was like, what's going on? USS Ranger.
Oh, I never would have gotten that.
No, me neither. And I've listened to that thing a bunch. I have the Leonard Nimoy Star Trek IV Laserdisc with all the special features, and of course the Blu-rays and such.
So I'm 2 for 3.
2 for 3. That's pretty good. Now you ask me questions, sir. So in our double trivia challenge, because I forgot last time.
3. Double.
You got me for 3 questions, sir.
In the Voyager episode Unimatrix 0 Part 2, which crew member knew Axum previously?
7 of 9?
Obviously. Mm-hmm. In the motion picture Nemesis, why is Shinzon fascinated with Counselor Troy?
He saw that episode where she wears that peach number. Why? Why? She's hot. HAWT. She rebukes him. I don't know.
No, it's as simple as you were really thinking. She is the first human female he has ever seen.
Yeah. Wow. Could you imagine?
It's kind of like Charlie X and Janice Rand, right?
Yeah, slapping her on the ass.
Right?
That's not proper etiquette. I don't know if you know that.
No, HR had to talk to me about that. Captain John Christopher serves in what branch of the military in the original series episode Tomorrow is Yesterday?
I want to say Air Force.
It is.
Because he's a pilot, but you never know. Now everybody's got pilots, right?
All right. Do we have to do a sudden death now?
I'd say both.
Yeah, but we're
2
going
to
to
2.
be here all night. I have
That's
a feeling
okay.
it's rare.
I'll pull out one more card.
Yeah, I pulled out one more card as well.
Okay, we'll take turns. So I got you for 3 more questions.
Take turns. Actually, we should do 1 and 1 until somebody misses.
Okay, I'll go for it. That sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Ready?
Only up to 6, and then we continue the tie. But only up to 6, and then we continue the tie. Then we have a tie on the books.
Okay, I don't know if you know this about me, but I can only keep 3 things in my brain at once, so I have no idea what you said.
Okay, just read me the question.
I'll let you know.
I'll tell you when we're done.
Okay, I got Kelly Bundy. Once you put a 4th thing in there, the first thing goes.
I think that green dye is impeding you, but that's okay.
In the 2-part Voyager episode, Year of Hell, which alien race has ships that can erase history?
Shit, I think I just lost the trivia contest.
You'll know it when you hear it.
I'm gonna say the alien race that has.
He says "dumbass" a lot, but what's his race?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Now I even know the race, but I have no idea what kind of race. He was the president of the Federation. I'm gonna say the Alorans, but it's not the Alorans.
Nope. The Krenim.
The Krenim.
Okay.
All right, you win. You win trivia.
No, not really, because we have to answer one more than the other. Right now, we're still tied.
Okay.
Math.
No, that's not true. But okay, you're right. Okay. At the beginning of the motion picture Nemesis, whose wedding is the crew celebrating?
Thank you. The Troys.
Yes.
William and Deanna Troy.
You win. You win,
Yay!
sir.
Will Wheaton needs to be put back in that movie. I need a director's cut. Don't take him out and put him on the special features. Will Wheaton needs to be there. Just saying. Why you cut him out? It's like 30 seconds. Come on.
I don't know, man.
Save the universe how many times?
I don't know. According to the prodigies over there, he's the most important man ever. So.
Him and Miles O'Brien. I'd like them to team up in a buddy cop movie where one of them's a zombie. All right. What else we got to do?
Trek and Tell. Trek and
Tell. What's your Trek and Tell, buddy?
I have a Trek and Tell. I'm excited that I have a Trek and Tell. Here it is, my Trek and Tell. So, this came to my doorstep today. Ooh. I ordered something that I've been.
It says Star Trek on it.
Looking for. So, I love but you see how the Star Trek on it, it's like the Discovery version of Star Trek.
Oh, it is. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's the disco. It's the disco Trek look.
And I did not send this to you. It was on your stoop, and I did not send it to me. Okay.
But it's very apropos considering part of the conversation that we had earlier in this episode. Opening it. Too bad you can't really get the unboxing aspect of this on camera, but
yeah, addresses and such.
Or a little high. I crossed out my address. I'm smart enough to do that now.
You don't want people to know you're in Poughkeepsie.
Okay. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. So,
is it a figurine of you?
Here is the receipt.
Ooh.
No, it's not a figurine of me. So,
I'll order that.
Since I've been getting into baseball lately, and I love my Star Trek.
Oh, yes, DS Niners.
Just call me a Niner, baby. Actually,
Oh,
I like
I
the way
love
this hat
it.
looks on me. I usually look like
love
bad
it.
in hats, but this one's not bad. It's a little big for my head. It's not this one. The NX hat
Mhm.
fits me perfectly. It's
Well, once
small
you
because
wash it.
I got a small bean, but yeah, I just said to myself, I'm getting into baseball recently, and how can I combine something that I'm really growing to like a lot with something that I love the most?
I
And
love
then I
that.
said, there's got to be some swag for the Niners. Now, you want to know something?
Yes, I want to know everything.
I don't remember this logo. And I kept on looking because I remembered the uniforms that said Niners
Hmm.
across the chest, right? So I always thought that that was also on the hat. So I was looking for a hat that said Niners
Oh,
on it. I didn't realize that this was the logo, but if you can see
yeah, I
what that
recognize it.
is,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
hold it
the
up.
upper and
So
lower pylon making the stitching on the other
exactly.
side of the
So
baseball.
it's so cool. It's so neat. It's yeah. So I got
I
it.
love it.
I'm glad I unboxed it on camera. It's authentic and adjustable, and it came from Amazon, but it came from the Star Trek store.
Nice. So
So
it's from Star Trek. Nice.
apparently, it's official.
That's
Um,
nice. There's so many that aren't out there.
or maybe if it's not, I don't know. It's saying that this is made in Bangladesh. The classics,
Ah, Bangladesh.
Yupung,
Good food there.
100% cotton, made in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
But this is another one that I'll wear around town or whatever, waiting for
Mm.
somebody to realize what I got on, and no one will ever say a word.
Will
I
you
still
wear
have
it to a
not gotten
baseball
one
game?
word to my NX01 hat.
Will you wear
Yeah.
it to a baseball game?
Yeah, I feel like this one is actually more apropos for a baseball game because it's got a better front. It actually has more structure as a ball cap, where that one is a little bit, kind of collapses here. I
The
don't know.
dream I have is Serenity, and me and you going to a baseball game in New York City. All three of us wearing DS9ers full uniform.
I'll have to wear a Yankee shirt. I'm sorry.
They'll put us on camera. I was on the news, the local news one time at a baseball game.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of us from work, when I worked at the restaurant, I was the boss, but I was the fun boss, like Boimler's trying to be. And I told everybody, hey, let's all go to a baseball game together. If you want, we'll do it whenever this game is. And I was like, it's Wacky Hat Day, right? I told
Okay.
everybody it's Wacky Hat Day. So there's about 6 of us, and people showed up just with the wackiest hats on. We get there, and I think you know where this is going. It was only Wacky Hat Day for us, and I made it up.
I
So,
figured. Yeah.
so the whole place. But you know how baseball games have like scrambled egg night or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we all had wacky hats on, and we made the news that night. And it was like, well, these people seem to have their own thing going on and enjoying the game and whatever. But made the news.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, and then the funny part was my friend from Peru, he was the dishwasher. He came with us. His wife had made this elaborate, it wasn't a sombrero, but it was like a large straw sun hat with all these ribbons like interwoven in it. And I mean, it was decked out. And he's like looking at me the whole time, hat, no one hat here. And I was like, yeah, I just messing with you guys.
He's like, hey, asshole.
But
Right?
but I had the wacky hat too. I think I wore my Jane hat that day. But I love
That's
that
cool.
DS9ers hat. That's awesome. Is it going to go behind you on your shelf eventually?
I'll keep it on. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I wear my hats out a lot because I just enjoy them. So
I got to show
this is on the
off.
shelf
Look at
as an
this.
anomaly right now.
Spike.
It's usually in the closet waiting for me to put it back on my head.
Yeah. From what I understand, you get your male pattern baldness from your mother's side. Like, so my grandfather, and he was bald at like 80 something. But luckily, my hairline and thickness haven't changed my whole life. So
honestly, my thickness has changed a bit. My hairline has always been high. It's a little higher now. My grandfather had a widow's peak, so I guess I'm sort of getting those edges. But listen, I'm 54 and I'm barely graying, so I don't do anything with my hair but cut it and wash it.
If Blue Chew or whatever it is that you put in your hair wants to sponsor us, we'll put it in our hair and see what happens. Or
I put in my hair,
minoxidil,
good old fashioned
brush.
combing it. That's
Didn't
it.
you just get a haircut?
I did, and
It's
it's
already
already like
growing
I
out.
gotta. Yeah,
You must have a lot of keratin in your diet.
My hair grows fast.
You have a well-balanced diet. That's good. I love the hat. That's a great Trek and Tell. Makes me ashamed of my Trek and Tell.
I rarely have one, so you don't need to be ashamed.
Okay, we're continuing with Lower Decks with the next one in the series. It's number 104, Bradward Boimler.
Nice.
I think somebody's going to take like a Sharpie and make custom Bradward Boimler mustaches. Like a pen, and just charge $10 extra for making 4 little marks on there. So apparently he's supposed to grow a beard out, or try to, this whole season. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I got to think so. Oh, okay. So we have notes. I thought Willard was gone. Okay.
No. We got 2 people watching.
Willard writes, my mother's father had his full head of hair when he died, as did all of my mother's brothers. My dad, brothers, and I, on the other hand, lost our hair in our 20s. So it's funny because my dad has been bald since his 30s, or balding at least now.
But you're not.
Chrome dome. No, both me and my brother still have our hair.
Maybe that whole mother's side thing is just before they understood genetics, and maybe it has.
But the thing is, that's my dad's side. My mother's side, my grandfather had his hair until the day he died. So for me, it's working. For me, it's working out. And I take after my mother's side of the family. I mean,
a lot of good it does, but I still have my hair.
Certainly. Do you have 2 pairs of glasses on, or is your camera just that bad?
I do have 2 pairs of glasses on. I was just being a silly goose.
Okay. I just thought, I know it's late. Am I fucking seeing things? But I'm so sorry, Willard.
We're live.
We never. Willard, I'm sorry that you lost your hair. But you're probably rocking. You probably
look like Dwayne The Rock Johnson with it.
So exactly. I mean, so
I don't know if I can pull it off.
You're probably as handsome as Patrick Stewart. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. He looked. Patrick Stewart looked silly with hair. I got to say, in that one episode,
it's honestly almost impossible for you not to be as handsome as Patrick Stewart.
Exactly, and you're part of our crew.
On the comments you've made. Yeah,
our crew is a handsome crew, one of the best crews in Starfleet.
Right.
The USS Treksploration. We're an exploratory vessel, and our animal mascot is Porthos, and our Borg mascot is Ensign Lynch.
Ensign Lynch. He's the show mascot. Yes.
Okay. What else do we got to do before we get out of here? Let these people go to bed. They're on the East Coast. They're still with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, for everybody that's still with us. This will be the one of the few very, very late ones. So we did a Trek and Tell. So we got to do our final thoughts on our silly object out of 5. So
right.
Who's starting
who went
with
first
that?
In 501?
Who cares?
Oh, that's a good point.
That was like an hour
so I'll
ago.
let you go first because you are very handsome in that hat. Handsome in general.
My final thoughts on this one. For what is essentially an episode that's supposed to be about the Orions with a more run-of-the-mill Starfleet story, like a Boimler Mariner, farce. I found the farcical stuff on the non-scarcity planet to be the most compelling thing about the episode for the bigger issues that it brought out. And even though I was much more into the Orion stuff in the first episode, I like the way it played out here, but it was the part of the episode that interested me the least. So it was weird. I was expecting to go in. Finally, I was so invested in the Orion stuff in the first one. We're going to get the denouement of that, and it's going to be great. And I have to be honest with you, I'm glad we had a chance to watch, because last night when I was watching it, I was kind of falling asleep during the Orion parts. Yeah. And so rewatching it tonight, I appreciated them a little bit more, especially the twist at the end with Erica. But
there's always a twist in the end, Doctor Who.
But at the same time, it's just fun to think about the broader Trek universe and how it all works. So for that, I'm going to give it what are those beetles? The beetles that put them to sleep, the flora and fauna. I'm going to give it
tie-dye something. Was it
a tie-dye dung beetle? I'm going to give it 4 tie-dye dung beetles out of 5.
Ooh, that's higher than episode 1 of season 5.
Yeah, again, because it made me think of broader Trek questions, and I like cogitating on broader Trek questions. How about you?
I I was originally going to give this one a lower score than I did the other one because I seem to like the alternate realities, time travels, different things, and this that gave me shades of parallels. Maybe the Worf episode. But as we were talking about this, I seem to like get into it more and like it more. So I'm probably going to go. Well, final thoughts. Great episode. To me, the continuing Oh-REE-un thing was a little repetitive. But everything else about the episode and the beginning of the season story arc and the whole pregnancy and Devana possibly being an aunt, I'd love to see by the end of the season her holding her little niece. That would be beautiful. I'm going to give it 4.7 wing slug rolls, what the Erica was eating at the beginning of the episode.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I like that. And 4.7, right on brand, sir. Right on brand. Well, for those of you out there who are watching us live, thank you very much for doing so. And thank you for joining us here on Treksploration. We want to know what you think of this episode, Shades of Green, Season 5, Episode 2 of Lower Decks. Please let us know what you think right here on the YouTube channel, on the comments below. And you can also find us on our Patreon site where we have our main hub of discussion. That's patreon.com/Treksploration. Go there, join our community. You don't have to support us monetarily, although if you choose to, we sure do appreciate it. Instagram us at TreksplorationPod, X us at Treksploration, email us TreksplorationPod@gmail.com. Call us on the phone at 707-847-6682 and send me something to send to Albie at the P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. Buy us a coffee. Buy us a coffee. .com/Treksploration, I think. I still haven't looked it up.
Buyusacoffee.com/Treksploration. Calls to action are subscribe. Borrow your friends and children's phone and subscribe on their account. We need 1,000 subscriptions and we're almost close there to monetize. So I'd appreciate it. And any inheritance you want to leave Serenity, that's great. If you don't have family or friends, go ahead and do that. I think that's it.
Yeah, we got to say thank you to Willard for hanging in on the live show. Yeah. Thank you for Stacy for reaching out. Was that this show or the last show? Oh, see, now Willard is listening. Willard writes, I got plans for your P.O. box, but they'll have to wait until next month. So,
all right.
That seems hot. A little bit.
Bananas hot.
It's a little bit ominous, but okay.
Hopefully that's not the Unabomber or DB Cooper.
All right. So,
although if DB Cooper had something for us, could be cash from the 60s, right?
I was going to say cash from the sky, right? Cash from the plane crash.
Sky cash.
So I'll be waiting for that ominous package from Willard.
Next time we're talking about TNG. What's the next on TNG? Too Short a Season.
Too Short
and
a
our
Season.
Next bonus episode will be the Nanite Hotel one. What's it called?
The Best Exotic Nanite Hotel. That's Discovery. That's Lower Decks episode 5, season 3.
Okay, so that's what we'll be talking about. Like always, we'll be talking about Star Trek. So I think that's about wraps it up for tonight. I think the sun's coming up in this time zone. I apologize, Chris and Laura and Penny and Crystal. And thank you so much for being a friend, traveling up and down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Wow, that's beautiful. Did you write that?
I might have heard it somewhere.
All right. Well, I'll take it to heart. Thank you.
Willard has one last thing to say before we say goodbye.
Chris's comment about Anthrax a couple of shows back gave me an idea.
All right. Bring Crystal with you to smell the package before you pick it up.
There you go. You knew which dog I wanted to get rid of. You're a good friend.
I'll take Penny anytime. Anytime. I love them both, but Penny has my heart. All right. For Treksploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.